Welcome to Wild Basin Wilderness Preserve. This preserve protects 227 acres of beautiful Texas hill country habitats right here in Austin. It's part of the much larger Balcones Canyonlands Preserve, which covers about 50 square miles. Many rare and vulnerable species of animals and birds live here. That's why we protect the land. This is a great place to enjoy being outside and learn about the natural world. Ready to go exploring?
Hello, my name is Jessica Gordon. I work with the City of Austin Watershed Protection Department. What is a watershed? A watershed is an area of land that drains to a creek, lake, or river. Most watersheds in Austin are named after the creek that they flow to. Here at Wild Basin Wilderness Preserve, we are in Bee Creek Watershed. Here is a model of a watershed. Since we're at Wild Basin Wilderness Preserve, let's call this a model of Bee Creek Watershed. This creek could represent Bee Creek. This creek flows into the Colorado River and Lady Bird Lake. So Bee Creek Watershed is also part of the Colorado River Watershed, which extends across Texas from New Mexico all the way to the Gulf of Mexico. Everyone lives in a watershed. This watershed model shows different things that we can find in our watershed, such as neighborhoods, parks, preserves, construction sites, streets, and parking lots. As you see, some of the land cover on the watershed is pervious, and some of it is impervious. Pervious land cover, like plants, lets water soak into the ground and become groundwater. Impervious cover, like streets and parking lots, does not allow water to soak into the ground, so it runs off the surface of the watershed to our creek, lake, and river, which can lead to flooding problems. Our actions on the land affect water quality. When it rains, water can pick up pollutants and take them to our creek, lake, and river. I am sure you have all seen litter on the ground. I'm going to use this to represent litter that is on the watershed. Some people may throw it out of their cars, or maybe there's a trash can that has too much trash in it and it overflows. I'm sure you've all seen litter on the streets. You've probably also seen oil in streets, parking lots, and driveways. This represents some oil that is leaked out of cars and in people's driveways. I'll do this one. So I'm going to add oil to the streets to represent this pollution in our watershed. Some people also add chemicals to their yards and gardens. I'm going to use green food coloring to represent fertilizer that some people add to their plants to help them grow. And I'm going to use yellow food coloring to represent weed killer that some people use to kill the plants that they don't want growing there. And I'm going to use red food coloring to represent insecticide or pesticide that people use to kill the bugs that they don't want. Erosion can also cause water pollution. This construction site doesn't have any plants to help hold in the soil. And so I'm going to add some loose dirt so we can see what happens when it rains. And how many of you have a dog? What does your dog do when you take him for a walk? Here I have Jake, the big yellow dog. And here is some pet waste that people left on the ground. They did not pick up after their dog. There are more than 250,000 dogs in Austin. And so on average, that is 150,000 pounds of poop per day. Let's see what happens when it rains. As you can see, the pollution is running off the land into the water. Look at all the erosion from the construction site. There's a plume of sediment. Most of us in Austin get our drinking water from the Colorado River. Would you want to drink that? I wouldn't. But fortunately, our water does go to a treatment plant where it gets cleaned and treated before we drink it. But the more polluted it is, the more expensive it is to clean out the pollutants. So the best, most cost-effective way is to take care of our watershed. Fortunately, places like Wild Basin Preserve help protect the watershed, both by having lots of wonderful native plants that can help filter out pollutants, as well as being natural land where they don't add any chemicals. So that is a great thing to have in our watershed. There are also things that you can do to help protect our watershed. Instead of using these chemicals in your yard, like weed killer, you can pull the weeds. Instead of using fertilizer, you can use natural compost. Instead of using pesticides, you can research organic ways to take care of your pest problems. When you walk your dog, you can scoop the poop. Most of our parks have these bags, and I keep bags attached to my dog's leash, so I have them wherever I go. And you can just put it on like a glove. Pick up your dog's waste. You don't have to touch it. You can tie it in a knot and throw it away. You can throw it away, and that helps take care of our watershed. You can also reduce, reuse, and recycle to help prevent littering. And if you see litter on the ground, you could pick it up. Just think, if everybody picked up 3 pieces of litter a day, how much cleaner our environment would be. So please do your part to help us protect water quality. Thank you.